wearable. And we'll need to make this smarter later on, but for the time being, we're going to take advantage of the fact that every wearable has to define where it goes. We're going to go to our outfit. We're going to go to the index of the wearable dot, oops, hang on real quick. Player wearable. Player anatomy. That's what we called it. I had a brain fart. Anatomy equals wearable. So we don't have to guess about it. We don't have to loop through. We don't have to check anything. We can just say they wanted to equip this wearable. Let's go to the part of the body where this wearable goes, and let's just go ahead and assign it to that. Okay. We are moving. We're moving in this game. Let's go to program. So to test this, we want to take our two players, we want to make them both carpenters. Since we, as we said earlier, we know it's going to return 7. We want to create some stuff. So let's go ahead and say hammer is equal to new test hammer. And var gloves are equal to new test gloves. And var hat is equal to new test hat. All right. So we've got these items, and suspend your disbelief. Pretend for a second that you came along and you had the ability to see these things on the ground, and you picked them up. And Gary decides that he wants to, make this mistake a lot. We added things to our player implementation that we don't have inside of our iPlayer contract. So let's go ahead and take equip weapon, equip variable. All right, so I think we have the other two. Well, no, we don't have the remove inventory item. All right, so let's do that. And that. Within the Alt key, do a multi-select, kill it all off. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So now that I have it in our contract that these things are going to be available to every player, go back into program, and we'll say, Gary, oh Gary, you are going to equip weapon, hammer. Gary's going to get buffed out. Let's just say we just know that now. Didn't like Gary before when he was a politician, but now we like Gary. So, oops, I put gloves in the keepsake department, and that was not what I intended. Let's go ahead and change this location to wearable. Now we need a keepsake. All right, let's just do a keepsake real fast, just so we can show all of it. Say test charm. Wow, that makes sense. I didn't actually define, man, don't see it, you ignore it. All right, so I didn't actually define an abstraction for the keepsake. bear with me. I know, we were almost to the fun part, and then I came back and I did some more busy work. Alright, so player keepsake. Let's come back over to our test gloves. Alright. Let's say this is a pretty powerful charm and it gives us a 3. Okay. Oops, did not need to put this there. I meant to make this abstract. Yes. And put it there. Alright, so now we have a charm that is 3. And has an attack boost that is true. And we're going to take this guy, and might do this every place else, but it only becomes super apparent here. I want to make this keepsake. Now that the game's getting more complicated, if I start jumping around too much or it's hard to follow, A, the code's out there, but B, let me know so we can slow it down. We really are only doing the basic inheritance stuff that we've been doing since day one. And if you aren't familiar with that, great beginner's tutorial is in the channel information below. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to, when people in the videos, they do this. I've always wanted to do that. Okay, so it's in the channel down there. And so we're really only using the basic OOP stuff and the good inheritance practices. And the factory pattern that was week 1, the strategy pattern that was week 2, and now the builder pattern that is in our 3rd week. So I'm moving quickly because we're really hammering home the results of this kata, and I'm trying to keep a mental note or a mental map of where I might stray and do something we haven't covered. So just let me know if something jumps out at you. Okay, so for the player keepsake, we want to define it as keepsake, and we want to tweak our player class a little bit. We have a lot of stuff open, so we're going to say pose all but that guy, and then we're going to reopen our program. First looking at these 2 classes. Okay, so for this, all we said for the find the boost from keepsakes, we did in fact find all the items with boost, but we want to say where they have an attack boost, and the inventory type is equal to inventory types keepsake, so that we don't, if you've got a bag of hammers, right, you've got 20 hammers in your bag, we don't want to calculate all the attack bonuses and health bonuses for all 20 hammers, because you can't swing 20 hammers. We only want the things that are keepsakes. Lucky charms, bits of flair, whatever have you. Rotting zombie head. Oh. Hello. Alright, hopefully we'll remember that, because I actually do want to have a rotting zombie head as a charm. What would that do? I really don't know. But it'd be neat. And you could wear, like, on your waist. So many good things we can do with this game. Okay, so, and we want to do the same thing into all of our little algorithms. We're absolutely going to refactor this out. I think it's serving its purpose here to, if you're new to these benefits of good OOP and such, then it's good to see it over and over and over again. You can really hammer home the idea. Yeah, routes. It all looks the same. It all feels the same. When you get more experience, this should make your eyes go cross-eyed because it's just something that can be so easily refactored into something more usable and easy to maintain. All right. So we also, actually we don't need anything else. We have the ability to add something to our inventory. So we have a hat. Var charm is equal to new test charm. We are buffing Gary out. Equip wearable. Hat. Oops. Test hat, test hat. Where'd you go? You are not a weapon anymore. You are a player. Wearable. And what were we thinking? Good gracious. Hands. And head. Alright, looking and feeling better now. Okay, so with the bridge pattern, we've abstracted out this concept of inventory into something that players can use without having to do too much work, actually really no work this time around, into our base inventory abstraction. But we've added a lot of functionality to our players. So coming back over to the program, I have created a hammer, gloves, hat, and a charm. I'm going to say Gary, add inventory item, charm. There you go, Gary. Okay. So let's look at what we have. We've got Gary's health. Let's see what happens when Gary fights. Var DMG is equal to Gary.fight. Console.writeLine. Take advantage of our parameters. And we're going to say something, blah, 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 attacks for some amount of damage. In this case, it's going to be Gary.name and damage. Let's go ahead and copy this again. All right, and let's go ahead and say all right, Gary puts on his Sunday best. All right, so let's go ahead and try to build. Ah, man, we're at the hour mark already. All right, we succeeded.